All right, TJ Houshmandzadeh, we got all sorts of good stuff today. So I want to start with something. Houston Texans aren't really a brand. I mean, the college football team, Texas Longhorns, are a bigger brand than the Texans. But you told me, keep your eye on CJ Stroud. So you train all these guys. You train receivers, backs, quarterbacks. So you work with CJ Stroud. I'm struck by the comp was Jared Goff with a little more mobility. I'm struck by his professionalism and his ability. He can clearly see the field, which a lot of guys don't see it for years. You're not surprised by this?
I'm not. I don't train him. I'm just out there with him, and we develop a relationship. The first time I knew CJ was going to be a star, he wasn't even in college. It was COVID, and we're just trying to find a field where we can continue to train. And he's on his way to Ohio State, and we're out in Long Beach training. This dude was NFL guys, college guys. This dude was so accurate in high school, like ball on the money to everybody. But the way he treats people, Colin, is unbelievable, man. Like, it'll be a nobody, and he'll make that nobody feel like he's important if he approaches CJ. He's just a good dude, a really good player. But, yeah, I sat here, and you said, who would I draft? I said CJ, and you were like, really? And it's just the accuracy, the size. People are going to gravitate to him because the way he treats them, the way he makes them feel. He's just a natural-born leader.
Yeah, and DeMeco Ryans, I was told this last year, the Niners staff thought he was as good as any young coach in the world. They were like, basically DeMeco, you start looking at the quarterbacks he's given trouble to. Lamar Jackson had a little trouble with him. Kenny Pickett was overwhelmed. It's like, obviously, DeMeco. And by the way, the Niners defense this year is good. It's not as good as it was last year. So they may have themselves a gem as a coach, but CJ Stroud's been great. Another player so the Rams beat the Colts, and it's unbelievable. Puka Nacua is smashing records. A fifth-round receiver from BYU. You're aware of him. I can't believe his ability to manipulate corners. Jonathan Vilma talked about this during the broadcast. He looks like Larry Fitzgerald, like above the shoulders. The way he uses his body, the angles. First of all, he's got great hands. He's physically big. He's hard to get an angle on. Are you shocked we're all shocked a little by this, right? Everybody is shocked.
Now, I trained him for the combine and got him ready for months and months and months.
What'd you make of him?
Anybody that says, he's playing well because I trained him, no. You go get somebody that can't play, you're not going to make him play well. Puka can play. Puka was a top recruit coming out of high school.
Yes, he was.
And committed to USC, ended up going to UW. Number one, he has the best receiver coach in the league in Eric Yarber. That's no question.
Rams have a great young staff. Raheem Morris and Yarber are great.
And so did I expect him to do this? No. But a little cockiness, I trained him. I expect him to play well. Give it an opportunity because we're not just going over the physical aspect. We're going to talk coverages, fronts, what ID in the mic means, how to sit in zones. We go over everything. It's not just, okay, let's work on press releases. Let's work on top of the route, which is very important. But we're going to go over football. When you see this zone, this is what this guy needs to do. This is what this guy must do. We can just sit here. The route can be average. Catch the ball, settle in zones, and we'll be fine. But what Puka's doing, I didn't expect him to play this well. I expect anybody that I work with to play well. But when you make the most of your opportunities, you are going to be given more opportunities. And Puka, right now, he's a top 5 receiver in the league the way he's playing. And
There's
nobody
no
can
question.
And if they say he isn't, they hate. Puka has played so well that when Cooper Kupp comes back, the Rams have a good problem.
Seriously. He is just hands, physicality, routes. You can watch him set up. Young receivers don't set up corners. They're just trying to get open. He sets up people. Now, here's another one. I find this amazing. So the NFL decided about 10 years ago, you can't play defense like the Ravens did. You can't grab hit. Like, they literally looked at certain teams and went, no more doing that. So it's an offensive league. So the value of quarterbacks. Yesterday we had 7 blowouts, mostly good quarterback against bad quarterback. It's like college games. So I said this last week, is I have such high regard for Caleb Williams, mostly because A, I've watched them, and B, every exec I talk to in the league is like, no, this kid's different. He's better now than Mahomes was as an age, like significantly better than Mahomes was. And I suggested last week, I think J-Mac and I did, I said I'd give up 3 firsts, TJ Watt and Pickens for Caleb. And that got pushback. It's like, folks, TJ Watt's amazing. He's maybe worth a point a game. Caleb, if he's 75% of Mahomes, is worth 6. What do you make of this? What would you give up for Caleb Williams? Now, we know certain teams aren't. Chargers like their guy, Chiefs like their Buffalo. But if I said to you, you're the GM of Pittsburgh, and I said 3 number 1s, TJ Watt, Pickens, would you do it?
I wouldn't do that.
What would you do?
But when you say TJ Watt, people, wait, TJ Watt, because he's such a star, that's a non-starter. But let me answer your question. I would give up TJ Watt. I would give up George Pickens. I would give up 2 first-round picks.
Not 3.
Not 3. Not 3 at all. And the reason I say that is the Steelers have always done a great job at drafting that outside linebacker rusher
and
receivers. I mean, you just go back years and years. The Steelers draft outside backers and receivers very well. They just develop guys. I mean, you go back, Mike Wallace, AB, Emmanuel Sanders, and the guys they have now pick is Deontay Johnson. They just draft receivers well. Joey Porter, James Harrison, who was a free agent, Bud Dupree, TJ Watt, Highsmith. They just do a good job with that. And so if you can get a quarterback that's going to play 15 years, why wouldn't you?
I mean, to me, it's like, folks, I think Pittsburgh's this defense.
How many sacks TJ Watt have yesterday? Yeah, none. And so that's not on TJ Watt. But if you're the Steelers, it looks as if Kenny Pickett is not going to be the answer. You have to find a guy that is the answer. But you got to get an offensive coordinator. Yeah, I like Matt Canada. When he was at LSU, I talked to him a few times, recruiting guys.
Not working. It's not working.
I would be surprised by tomorrow if they don't announce somebody else is calling plays.
Okay, so this is an interesting one. So Greg Olson disagreed with me. 3 defensive coaches drove me crazy yesterday. So the one that Greg Olson disagreed with me is that Justin Fields has taken so much crap that on 4th and 1 tied, I would have kicked a field goal to give Justin the lead.
Makes them feel good walking off the field like, we're winning.
All week.
Yeah.
So if you kick a field goal and you lose, you can blame somebody else. But he had his best day. He gave you a lead. It ain't my fault, the defense. But when he doesn't go for it, now it's like, and first of all, you defensive coaches, give your star the ball to get the yard. So I didn't like this call. Greg Olson says I would have gone for it. Would you have gone for it?
I'm probably going to, if I'm on the offense side of the ball, I want to go for it. But the right call is to kick the field goal because you're a defensive coach. Now you're going to earn your money. You're a defensive coach. You kick the field goal. You go up 31-28, I believe. And now your defense has to make a stop. Now, you haven't been able to stop Denver the whole second half.
That's the concern.
But you are a defensive coach. This is why you got the job. Okay. Earn your money.
Okay. I have the same feeling. I love Justin Herbert. We can show that video. They went for it in 4th and 1. Now, to their credit, they gave Herbert the ball, which I'm fine with. But
the play with Chicago, like, really? That's the play you're going to run?
But the Chargers, they did give it to Herbert. But deep in their territory, they go for it. They lead by a touchdown. They can't block Khalil Mack. They have 1 timeout left, and it's a backup quarterback. I don't go for it.
A rookie quarterback at that.
So, to me, I'm punting the ball.
This is what Brandon Staley does. This is him. This is who he is.
He's true to his brand.
You go back to last week. They go for it on 4th down. They don't get it. Keenan Allen comes out and says, man, we need to implement this Philadelphia Eagle, Jalen Hurts, push the quarterback on 4th and 1.
They do.
So that's what they implemented this week or last week in practice. That's the play they run. It doesn't work. Now, the defense had been playing well.
They could not block
Khalil Mack was unbelievable.
6 sacks, couldn't block him.
But this is what I think is going to happen moving forward. 2 weeks in a row, they go for it. 2 weeks in a row, they don't get it. 2 weeks in a row, the defense has made a play to win the game. So now I believe Brandon Staley will say, my defense is kind of saving me. Let me now stop being as aggressive because my defense 2 weeks in a row has basically saved my butt.
Oh, he'd be fired if he lost both these.
The defense has come through 2 weeks in a row in both instances where you really could make a point. Just punt the ball.
Okay, here's the third defensive coach, Ron Rivera, with Sam Howell with Washington. So you're a 10-point dog. You're on the road. You're in Philadelphia. I don't want to go to overtime. I have no interest going to overtime. So Howell drives down. They get a touchdown. They trail 31-30. It's a great play by him. You got the defending NFC champs on the ropes. I got no interest going to overtime with the second-best quarterback on the road. I would go for 2 after this.
When you are the underdog,
big underdog,
the majority of the time, you go for 2.
Thank you.
And I read where Ron Rivera said the offense was gassed. They were tired. All right, it's called timeout. I mean, it's only 2.5 yards. It's not like where are they running to? And so everybody, every team, we all have 3, 4 2-point plays. You practice every week. So Friday and Saturday at practice. Saturday you walk through, but you go over these 2-point plays all the time. Gassed or not, whether you execute or not, we know exactly what to do in any situation because you rep them so much over the course of the season and you never really run them. And so that was his reasoning. Oh, the offense was gassed. But when you're the underdog on the road, you might as well go for it because probabilities the best team that is the favorite is going to win in overtime.
And also at home, it's always harder on the road. It's harder to hear. Communication's worse. You had to travel there. Again, I don't want to feel like I'm picking on all these defensive coaches, but in all 3. Now, Greg Olson talked me out of one maybe, but in these.
Which one?
Well, he said Chicago, if you get a first down, the game's essentially over. And my takeaway
we all know, but
I don't trust that O-line.
If you get a first down, the game is over. But if you are going to present that play, come on. If anything, let's run power with Justin Fields. Now we have an extra blocker. Let's run power with Justin Fields.
Yeah, no, and that's what Greg said is you got to, and this is where I'll give the Chargers credit. Last week they went to a backup running back. You got to give your star quarterback, or if you have a star back, let him get the play.
Chicago lost yards on 4th down. They lost yards. They got no push. I don't like the play. Like if you have an athlete like Justin Fields, give him an option. If you're not going to run a power, let's get on outside, run sprint right option. He can run it or throw it. Majority of the time, they're going to play man-to-man. That's what you're going to get. Like, no creativity, no motion, no anything to make guys' eyes be in the wrong spot. It was just, we're just going to overpower you and run it up the middle.
By the way, Buffalo and Miami, do you think less? I mean, first of all, Miami in 3-4 years, they can't stop Josh Allen. Like, they just don't have enough good dudes. He is insane. Do you think less of Miami? Are they a September football team when the weather's good, the tackling's bad, they're a track meet? Do you think anything less of Miami after they get shelled?
I don't think less of them because when they score 70 points in the National Football League, divisional opponents know you very well. Josh Allen has pretty much owned the Dolphins.
They haven't stopped him
since
in 4
he's been
years.
drafted. Now, when they know you're thriving on the big play, good coaches are going to take that away. Like, they're going to take that away. Like, what they did to Denver is really crazy, that you just let them big play you to death. Good coaches are going to take that away. If Tua can stay healthy, I still like Miami's chances. Everybody's not going to be a Sean McDermott. Everybody's not going to play defense the way the Bills play.
Belichick and McDermott basically said no freebies over the top.
Two of the best coordinators in the league.
Yeah, and they said no freebies over the top. We think our pass rush will disrupt Tua and give us a shot. The difference is one has Mac Jones and one has Josh Allen. Miami hasn't stopped Josh Allen in 4 years. They have no answer for him.
Nobody has really stopped Josh Allen in 4 years.
Belichick hasn't stopped him.
Josh Allen stops himself. Nobody stops Josh. He beats himself when the Bills lose first week of the season. If he plays sound fundamental football, nobody stops him.
CJ Houshmandzadeh. It's week 4. I kind of feel like I do feel like after 4 weeks, I kind of know what everybody's close to doing.
It seems that way. I'm still hoping that Cincinnati can turn this around. I have no idea what's going on. I really felt like they could compete for a Super Bowl this year.
So everybody did.
It's so baffling.
By the way, Burrow's still getting the you-know-what kicked out of him.
It's so surprising. If that's the case, we got to leave extra guys in the block. We have to leave extra guys in the block. A lot of Tennessee Titans. Let's max protect, 2-3-man routes, and let's go. Like, they got to figure something out. He can't continue to get hit this way, but they're not putting up points. We got to score. You got to score. Like I said this the other day to somebody, if I was Zach Wilson, I'm throwing Garrett Wilson 15 targets a game in single. I don't care, Garrett. I'm coming to you. Be ready.
You're talking Jamar Chase, you mean?
So now Joe Burrow, we got to get Jamar Chase 15 targets every game. T. Higgins got to get 10 targets every game. If I lose, I'm losing going to my best guys. That's just what it is going to be. It has to be that way because now you see Jamar Chase getting frustrated.
Yeah.
That's frustration setting in.
That's when it starts to unravel.
That's frustration setting in.
That's Dave Wannstedt said you can lose 2 in a row, 3, you start losing guys.
When you start losing games and guys aren't getting the looks they feel they should get, I don't care who you are. They go into practice on Wednesday. You're angry, you're mad, you don't want to talk to the coaches. They sense it, they feel it. And so it's an uncomfortable feeling because they're not going to say anything to you because they feel if they do, you're going to go off on them. And they don't want to see the rest of the players see you do that to them. And so they have to tread lightly and be careful. Feed them the ball. Your best players got to bring it home for you when you're struggling.
Good stuff, buddy. Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from The Herd or go watch a few segments from other shows on FS1.